Are you any more sold on the Jets? Seeing what's going on, Dalvin Cook is potentially interested in joining. Or are you still skeptical of the line up front? What do you got for me as we're now here in August?
Yeah. Until they play games, my concerns remain my concerns, right? And I'm probably even more, I don't know if I'm more bullish, to use a stock market phrase, than most on this team offensively, but I do like the composition of the running back room, the tight ends, wide receivers, the wide receivers that he brought in with him, and with Allen and Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Nathaniel Hackett. I like all that familiarity, guys who can help spread the message to the rest of the guys, the young guys who are trying to learn this system. I like Aaron's approach, his attitude. It seems like he's someone who wanted to be there this offseason as opposed to last year. I spent some time with Jordan Whitehead just a couple of weeks ago out in Pittsburgh. And on defense, he said, look, man, we're fired up about Aaron being there, and they've got good players all three levels. So I'm good with the squad except for that O-line. And it's a legit concern. And, it could derail everything. It could literally derail everything, especially if they can't run the ball at all. They're in second and long all the time. Aaron's running for his life more times than not. This is a team that was 28th, 30th in run block win rate last year, bottom half of the league in pass block win rate, tackles that are suspect. Blaine Brown's old, Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. It's just, at the end of last year, the two teams we covered in the Super Bowl, outside of the quarterbacks, one of the things we talked about was, man, Jason Kelsey is like a dominant center. Lane Johnson is a stud. Jordan Mailata is like ridiculous, former rugby player in Kansas City. It's Creed Humphrey. It's Joe Tooney, how good they are and how much Patrick, can just sit in the pot. And there's a reason why these teams are good. And if the Jets don't have that, it could really derail everything. And that's the only thing I'm watching that very closely. I don't care about anything else. I think everything else is going to be fine. It's just that unit.
Louis Riddick here on the Rich Eisen Show. You mentioned Pittsburgh as a spot where you were physically. Do you think give me the scenario for the Steelers in 2023? Give me what you got on this one.
Yeah. You know what?
Louis.
Almost a similar situation. Well, okay, the offensive line has been a work in progress the past 3 years. The past, the 2 years prior to last year, it was a combination of Ben Roethlisberger's, skills are diminishing over, coupled with the fact that his offensive line couldn't protect, and they were throwing all these wide receiver screens and jet sweeps and stuff because the offensive line stunk. So that's been a work in progress for 2 years now under Matt Canada. Now they have to transition to being a more vertical team and being more explosive in the pass game and the run game. Don't have Najee Harris running jet sweeps and running toss perimeter run. Have him go downhill. And they have to get the ball downfield to George Pickens and Deontay and Allen Robinson. They have to. Structurally, Kenny can do that. Kenny Pickett can do it. The offensive line should be much better. Now it's a combination for me of, can Matt Canada get this offense structurally, philosophically pushing the ball down the field and being more explosive? And then can their offensive line, with all the additions they've made, draft Broderick Jones in the first round out of Georgia, they have Isaac Seumalo, who they get from Philly this year, James Daniel last year from Scott. Can these guys get better than what has looked like a terrible offensive line in the last couple of years of Ben's tenure there? If they can do that, they'll be right in the mix in the North. They'll be right in the mix. Because defensively, Mike Tomlin's just going to have them playing at a high level. And they added some nice pieces, especially with Joey Porter Jr. Minka Fitzpatrick's one of my favorites in the league. TJ will be there. He'll be good. They just gave Highsmith an extension. So, again, it's offensively, can they be more explosive? Kenny can't be averaging, Rich, 6 yards per attempt. That's not going to get, not in the AFC. Not with the long-range bombers they got in that conference. So if they can do that, then Mike doesn't have to overcoach the team and have to be perfect on everything and make great timely calls all the time just for them to be in it. They can just let their talent kind of compete with everyone else's talent. But if philosophically and structurally, offensively, they can't bomb, they can't get you down the field and not have to go 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, 60 yards, 70 yards all the time. If they can't do that, they'll never be able to compete, even in their own division. They won't be able to compete with Lamar. They won't be able to compete with Joe Burrow. They won't be able to compete in the division with the Miamis and Buffaloes and KCs and LAs. I mean, these teams will light you sky high, man. So that's what I'm looking to see offensively with them.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.